It feels like a new AI tool drops every single week, right? And it's so easy to get overwhelmed. You see something like Google's NotebookLM, and your brain just instantly goes, okay, another version of ChatGPT. But what if that simple assumption is causing you to miss out on its real game changing power? Today, we are going to dive into what NotebookLM actually is and why treating it like just another chatbot is the single biggest mistake you can make.
Okay, so let's jump right in by talking about the most common mistake people make when they first get their hands on a tool like NotebookLM. Honestly, it's an easy trap to fall into, but it just completely cripples what the tool can do for you. And there it is. This is the core of the whole misunderstanding. We've all been trained to think of AI as this kind of magic box that knows everything on the internet. You ask it a question, it shoots back an answer. Super simple. But NotebookLM, well, it's playing a totally different game with a completely different set of rules. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Look at how this frames the fundamental difference. ChatGPT is an absolutely incredible tool for creation. You want to draft an email, write some code, brainstorm ideas using the gigantic library of the public web, go for it. NotebookLM, on the other hand, is designed to be a thinking partner, and it works exclusively with the information you give it. It's a subtle distinction, but trust me, it is massive. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of why these two tools act so differently. It really all comes down to one thing: where they get their information. And that simple fact fundamentally changes what they're good at. The key term you gotta remember is this: source grounded. This is NotebookLM's superpower. It basically means the AI is in a walled garden. It's completely cut off from the wider internet. Its entire universe of knowledge is made up of only the documents, the notes, the PDFs, the links that you upload into that specific notebook. It cannot, and it will not, pull answers from anywhere else. And this is a brilliant way to picture it. Let's say you give NotebookLM a bunch of your project reports, some messy meeting notes, and a few technical documents. Instantly, it becomes an expert, but only on that project. It hasn't read Wikipedia, it hasn't scraped Twitter. It's an expert on your stuff and your stuff alone. Okay, so it's source grounded. Big deal, right? Well, yeah, it's a huge deal, because this is where we shift from just talking about features to looking at hard data. This one design choice has a dramatic impact on one of the biggest problems in AI today: accuracy. And that's a totally fair question, isn't it? Is this just some niche feature for academics, or does it actually deliver a real, measurable difference? Well, lucky for us, some researchers decided to put it to the test. All right, let's just look at the raw numbers here. In a head-to-head test, NotebookLM hit 94% factual accuracy based on the documents it was given. ChatGPT came in at 83%. That's a big difference. But look at that next line: citation accuracy. NotebookLM is at a staggering 98%, while ChatGPT is down at 67%. This means when NotebookLM tells you where it found a piece of information, it's almost always right. That's a game changer for anyone doing research. This chart really tells the story. We've all heard about AI hallucinations. That's when the AI just makes things up out of thin air. It's a massive problem. In one study that looked at how these AIs answer questions from documents, the generalist AIs like ChatGPT had a hallucination rate of 40%. Just think about that for a second. Almost half the time, they're inventing some kind of unsupported statement. And NotebookLM? Just 13.3%. That is nearly 3 times lower. Now, it's not perfect, okay? You still have to verify its work, but the odds of getting a clean, factually grounded answer are just dramatically higher. And here's something else the study found. The errors from the big AIs weren't always just random nonsense. They often fell into this category the researchers called interpretive overconfidence. This is a sneaky one. It's when the AI takes an opinion from a source, like, say, a quote from a single expert in an article, and presents it as a universal, uncontested fact. NotebookLM, because it's source-grounded, is just way better at keeping track of who said what. So we've established that NotebookLM is more accurate because it's source-grounded. Now let's look at how this opens up a completely new way of working. We're moving beyond just collecting information to actually connecting it. And the workflow is beautiful in its simplicity. Step 1, you feed it your raw material, all your articles, research papers, project docs, even those messy meeting notes. Then, step 2, you start a conversation. You ask it to summarize risks, identify key themes, maybe compare arguments across 3 different documents. And finally, step 3, you use its awesome built-in tools to literally see the connections it finds.
And this is where it gets really fun. NotebookLM isn't just a chat window. It can spit out a mind map to visually show you how ideas in your sources are linked together. It can create a podcast-style audio summary of your documents, which is amazing for reviewing notes on your commute. It can even build quizzes to test your understanding or create an entire video presentation from your material. It's all about interacting with your knowledge in new ways, not just storing it.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It's not that NotebookLM is better than ChatGPT or that ChatGPT is better than NotebookLM. It's about picking the right teammate for the job you need to do. I mean, you wouldn't use a screwdriver to hammer in a nail, right? This table just lays it out perfectly. If your goal is in-depth research and analysis of your own documents, and your number one priority is accuracy and privacy, NotebookLM is your tool, no question. But if you need to brainstorm new ideas, create content based on broad public knowledge, and you value creativity and versatility above all else, then yeah, ChatGPT is probably the better choice. But here's the real pro tip. They're not enemies, they're teammates. You can build an incredibly powerful workflow by combining them. Use NotebookLM for the heavy lifting, have it analyze your reports and pull out accurate, verifiable insights. Then take those solid gold insights, feed them to ChatGPT, and ask it to craft a brilliant blog post or killer social media campaign. You get the best of both worlds, rock-solid accuracy and amazing creativity. So ultimately, the question isn't whether AI is useful. It is. The real question is how you choose to use it. Understanding the deep differences between a tool for creation, like ChatGPT, and a tool for thinking, like NotebookLM,